Mare of Steel by Iowaforever. Chapter 7. The frozen north of Equestrian was poorly explored. The only ponies who ever ventured this far north were either incredibly brave or incredibly insane, or wanted to see the Axe, or if they wanted to see, say, the Crystal Empire. More often than not, they were both a combination. Most died, their bodies vanishing into the snow and ice, while those that did come back told stories of either roaming monsters or caves filled with massive crystalline structures. Rainbow Dash shook out her mane once more and continued walking. The snow and wind did obscure her vision, but traveling mainly by instinct allowed her to not get lost among the snowdrifts. Her coat and feathers were damp from the exposure, and her saddlebags were once again thoroughly soaked. The only thing that remained remotely dry was the crystal, still glowing after days of travel. She crested another hill and looked down, a small smile crossing her lips. "This is the place for that vision," she said, turning and pulling the crystal from her bag. She let it rest in her host and inspected it. "Now what?" The crystal did nothing. It sat there, flickering a rainbow, as if mocking her. In frustration, she tossed it down the hill, and watched as the crystal rolled atop a nearer base of the hill. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the crystal began to slowly sink into the ice. After a half-minute, the crystal vanished without a trace, not even glowing visible. "Well, that was a waste. Now what am I supposed to do?" She swallowed a few snowflakes and looked back to where the crystal had vanished. She prepared to leave when the ice shook and a green glow spread out from beneath her. She took a few steps back, trying to figure out what was going on, when a massive crystal broke through the surface of the ice. The crystal continued to grow, rising higher and higher to the sky. It was soon joined by several others, all of them interweaving with one another. Rainbow Dash took flight and backed away as more and more crystals began to smash their way through the ice, all of them weaving together to form a large structure of crystal. When the display was finished, Rainbow Dash landed and looked over the structure. It was large, almost twice the size of Twilight's library, and the sparkle in a similar way to Celestia's mane. While it did not glow like the crystal it had grown out of, she could feel the energy radiating off the structure, a pleasing sensation when compared to the cold of the snow. She fluttered her wings once more and approached, the energy slowly bringing it back into her body. She smiled a little and sped up, the snow giving way to hard crystal similar to the tiles of Celestia's throne. Rainbow Dash entered a large circular room, one that glowed with white light as she walked through. Inscriptions in some ancient language were carved on a few of the crystals, most of which were either too worn or too faint for Rainbow Dash to read. The sound of the wind was stifled completely. The only things she could hear were her hooves clicking on the crystal beneath them. "Oh, hello? Is any pony here?" she asked. There was a chime, and several crystals parted from one another. A cloud of something rose from the parting crystals, and it slowly formed into a large blob. "Okay, that's kind of freaky." The cloud began to make a more solid shape, finally setting that of a unicorn stallion's head. The stallion looked old. Not as old as Granny Smith, but still pretty old. Even for being only an image, he seemed wise, like the princess. The stallion smiled a bit before speaking. "Welcome, my little filly. You do not know how much it pleases me to see you before me." Thanks," Rainbow Dash said, stepping forward towards the image. "Who are you?" "I suppose I should have introduced myself earlier." The stallion sighed. "Even with my position on the council, I still forgot that. My name is Jor-El. I am a scientist from the planet Krypton, and I am your father." Rainbow stepped back in shock. "This guy's my father? If you're my father, then who am I?" "Who you are exactly is not for me to decide. How you were raised and how you treat others ultimately decide who you are." "But, I mean, did I have some other name?" Jor-El paused. "Your name is Kara Jor-El. I would have wished to deliver this to you face to face. But, as you are receiving this, I have been dead for nearly 1,000 years." "Dead?" "I suppose there's more that I should have told you, my dear Kara." He sighed again. "Around the time you would call Nightmare Moon incident, I made a discovery. Our home world, Krypton, was dying, and it would take all of us with it very soon. I tried to warn the others, tried to get the council to stage an evacuation, but they did not listen to me." Krypton was entering a second golden age, and its destruction seemed absurd. In desperation, I constructed a ship and placed you, my only daughter, inside and sent you here. Kryptonians are no different than Equestrians physically, so you were blended with the populace and be able to live a life. As for Krypton, well, as far as I know, you are the only society in Kryptonian. The planet was destroyed only minutes after your ship broke through the atmosphere. Oh, there's silence. I really don't know what to say to this. I mean, well, she felt a small tear running down her face. Look, I'm crying for ponies I haven't even met. Art is a natural response to such news. Our minds can only take so much in. That hearing a traumatic event, even if they did not occur to us, can trigger feelings we don't fully understand. Yeah, she sniffed. But there are still a lot of things I want to know. Can you help me? I can never turn you away. But how? I mean, you're dead. I sent you here. I poured most of my knowledge of the universe, most of my memories, and bits of my personality into the data crystal that created this palace. Think of it as a copy of all that I was infused in a different form. Like an artificial intelligence? More or less. So if you have questions, I will be able to answer them. Maybe that's not for a moment. What happened to me? Why can't I break trees and shoot lasers from my eyes? They're technically not lasers, but it's easy to make a mistake. As for your other abilities, that is possibly to do with Kryptonian physiology. You see, we have the ability to absorb and store solar energy. Krypton emitted over the ancient red giant, so the effect was minimal. But Equestria has a much younger sun, and it is home to 2 goddesses as a bonus. The amount of energy that is within you has given you powers far beyond that of any normal pony. You can fly faster, lift more, see farther, and survive injuries that would kill a pony without taking a scratch. While you're not exactly a fool, you're not used to your powers and still need to learn how to control them. And you can help me with that? Yes. Another pause. Why did you send me to Equestria? Why not somewhere else? Trust me, you don't want to go to Thanagar. Traveling Plese. That is an interesting story, my child. When I first decided to send you away, I searched through time and space for a suitable planet. While most I visited offered such things as glory and battle, unlimited knowledge, endless luxury, even deification on some worlds. But the pony I contacted on Equestria, she told me of something more. Who did you meet? Was it the princess? No. Although I have met both Princess Celestia and Princess Luna before, but that is for another time. Zero's voice vanished, and replaced by an image of Canterlot. It was about 25 years before today. 1 year before you would land in Equestria. My message arrived and I found a mare. She was one of Celestia's attendants, young and full of promise. She already had one fool and had just sent him on his first day to school when I met her. The image suited that to a white unicorn mare with purple and white mane and tail. Hey! That's Twilight's mom! I do not know this Twilight, but she seems close to you. Yes, she's one of my friends. I think she likes you. Yeah, she's big on science and stuff. I'm sure she would be an interesting pony to meet. Anyway, after I explained what had happened to Krypton, I asked her what Equestria had to offer. And this is what she said. It was the mare came to life, shuffling her hose a bit and looking away. Well, we ponies aren't really the most kind of beings. We tend to get judgmental and jealous, and occasionally do harm one another. But I promise you, if I ever find your daughter, I will raise her and love her as my own along with my own son. The image faded back to Jor-El. That's why I sent you here, love. These ponies have a capacity to love that is unmatched by any other race in the galaxy. I wanted you to be raised somewhere where you would be loved, where you would learn to love those around you, no matter who they were. But there's another reason why I sent you here. These ponies mean well, but they can become distracted. They have the capacity to be great, but what they lack is a light to show them the way. Yes! Finally said that line! But the princess is... While I have nothing against the rules of Equestria, their status as supreme rulers and control over day and night tends to intimidate more ponies than it inspires. They may try to shake this image, but it's a sad truth. The ponies of Equestrian need someone closer to them. A pony who will inspire and drive them towards reaching their full potential. You will be that pony. Me? But I'm not a ruler of any pony. I did not send you here as a conqueror, Kara, but as a guide, a guardian. Allow your natural leadership to stir their higher instincts. You'll give the ponies an ideal to strive towards. They will race behind you. They will stumble, they will fall. But in time, they will join you in the sun. In time, you will help them accomplish wonders. That's a lot to take in. Okay, we need a comparison here. We have, on one side, the Mare of Steel speech. On the other, we have the infamous speech from Marlon Brando. Who wins? Do I even need to post the competition? It's Marlon Brando. I do like Kevin Costner and all, but Brando. That's Jor-El to me. I understand that. If you do not think you are ready for this, you may return home. I will remain here and wait until such a time that you are ready. We are dazzling to the image of Jor-El. Yes, he was asking a lot of her, but a bit of her mind pushed her on, telling her that she would be the pony her father had spoke of. I want to help. I want to know what I can do with my powers. Another pause, before Jor-El smiled. Then let us begin your training. Rainbow Dash was not sure how long she spent in the crystal structure, or Fortress of Solitude as her father called it. She had tried keeping track of time at one point, but she got wrapped up in her studies and training she forgot. I think you're all ready, Jor-El said as she woke up from the previous night. Are you sure? I've only been doing this for how long? Less than half a year. You have managed to master your powers, and you know much more about your place in the universe. Rainbow Dash nodded across the center of the room. So, now what? You will go out amongst the other ponies, guide them as I have guided you, and use your powers and skills to help them all. But before you leave, I have something for you. A segment of the nearest wall parted to reveal a flight suit, similar to one worn by the Wonderbolts. Unlike those suits, this one was a darker shade of blue, made from a material Dash did not recognize. It lacked a hood and mask for protection against the elements. A red cape draped over the back, and a large stylized S had been set inside the shield. The emblem placed in the center of the suit's chest. No mask. Won't every pony know me? There's no mask. If you do not wish the pony to see your true face, they will not. Rainbow Dash shrugged and approached the suit. She was able to slip it on without a lot of difficulty. The class for the keep had a few issues that needed to be worked out. Yeah, because I just don't see that. I mean, Dash is an awesome pony here, but I don't believe she's going to be a good enough actor to slouch, heighten the voice, stumble, look like a complete moron, and make herself look, and do everything possible to make herself not look like she has a secret identity. Oh, feels comfy. She stopped, placing a hoof on her mouth. Her voice had shifted once she had pushed on a suit. It was higher, less raspy, and more melodic. Hey, what's up with my voice? I sound like Princess Celestia right now. There are ponies that may oppose you. To protect both you and those you care for, I have cast several shielding and cloaking spells on your suit to hide both your true face and your true voice. It is deceitful, but in a way you are protecting the others by doing this. Oh. Rainbow Dash found a similar crystal that had been polished similar to a mirror. The pony staring back to her had a tan coat and darker mane, although the faint outlines of Dash's multicolored hair could be seen. Hey, that's actually kind of cool. At least now I know what to do for next nightmare night. The image slowly faded, and Rainbow saw her normal face again. Hey, what happened? The spells were just to you. The others will not be able to see your true face, yet you will be able to. Cool. She turned to see the image of her father. Thanks for the help. It was my pleasure, Kara. I see that you have grown into a fine young man, and I am proud of you. Thank you. Rainbow Dash turned to leave, or keep fluttering behind her as you want. And remember, my daughter, if there is any information you may need, or if you feel as though you need to be alone, the Fortress of Solitude is to be waiting for you. Rainbow Dash smiled, stepped outside. Now, Ponyville should be that way, she said, stepping to the southeast. But I should try out this new suit and see how well I fly. She turned to the wind and took off, shooting forwards at speeds ponies only dreamed of. She banked right and increased her speed, flying over the Crystal Mountains and down to Equestria. She climbed higher, plunging through a bank of clouds as she ascended, rolling and turning right. Rainbow Dash giggled a little before shooting straight up, the wind pulling at her mane and cape as she climbed higher and higher. As she flew, a small mock cone formed around Rainbow Dash. The cone grew in size and sharpened, narrowing considerably as she climbed. Finally, she reached the breaking point and shot forward, leaving only a tremendous explosion and a shower of light as she raced into the stratosphere. This is awesome! She shouted, and she twisted her head around and watched as the rainbow disc spread across the sky, unking out with a wide grin stretching across her face. Soon, the sound of the wind diminished as she was flying in almost complete silence. Looking around, Equestria was but a small green patch amongst the surrounding land, barely visible from where Rainbow Dash was flying. She hung there for a few moments, her cape fluttering for the slightest breeze. Rainbow Dash! Can you see the other countries? No! I can't see any borders! Those of you who got that reference, earn a cookie. This is amazing. I can see so much. She relaxed as much as possible, allowing her sense to take in everything. By the precision of the sun, it should have been early morning in Ponyville. She could hear the sound of Pinky and Mr. Cake setting up for the day, the sound of Mrs. Cake tending to the twins, the sound of Rarity singing to herself in the shower, all of life-size animals waking up for the day, even the sound of Scootaloo and Kingmar Crusaders riding off on their daily adventure. She closed her eyes and allowed the sounds of home to flood her mind. When compared to the winds of the north, or the dead silence of the Fortress of Solitude, the sounds of Ponyville were warm, welcoming, and soothing. She breathed in, taking as much of the sound as she could. One sound, however, caught her attention. It was a clanking sound, like somebody banging two pots together. Opened her eyes and scanned the country for any sign of trouble. She spotted movement in the evergreen forest, squinted to get a better look. Something big and metallic was moving towards Ponyville. Her instincts told her that it was up to no good. She dove and turned towards Ponyville, using as much of her speed as possible to make the trip shorter. Time to start protecting ponies, she thought. Ba da 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 da, ba ba bum, ba 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 bum, Superman. Look up in the sky, that's your plan. No longer am I just a... Oh, sorry, I really love Golden Justice video. Okay, before the next chapter, I got one more reference to the most amazing superhero movie of all time. Not only is he a dramatic speller, not only does she actually respect her editor, but she is by, in all these years of my life working at this job, the fastest typist I have ever seen! Yeah. I'm never going to get to do that scene, so I had to do it. Chapter 8. Another day in Ponyville was beginning, and the denizens of the town were busy setting up for the day. Shops were open, food stands were practically ready, and foals ran about in the town in their never-ending quest to find entertainment and excitement. Twilight would have joined them, but a letter from Princess Celestia concerning the rock that had poisoned Rainbow Dash came in from last week, so she was spending time reviewing her notes and preparing a report. She had not gained far, since Rainbow Dash had taken the rock with her to Camelot, and subsequently lost it. Twilight had nothing to test on. Her previous tests had drawn little information, but none that could answer the question of exactly what the rock was, or how it affected other ponies. If she had better foresight, she would have asked for a blood sample from Rainbow Dash to test. But with the Pegasus nowhere to be found, that plan had been scrapped. Twilight was about to review her notes again, when Piggy burst through the door at high speed and tackled her. Oh, Twilight, you're here! That's good, because this is really, really, really important! Piggy, get off me! Piggy jumped off at Twilight and allowed the unicorn a chance to blow herself off. Now, what's the problem?
Well, I was making cupcakes with Mr. Cake when the piggy sense went off. My knees got all twisty, ears got floppy, and my nose and eyes got itchy.
And that means...
It's something really big and scary is going to come into Plainville, and lots of boys are going to get hurt if we don't do something.
Twilight's eyes widened, and Piggy's sense was fairly wrong. The concentration of employees outside meant that was a very good chance at some point it could be hurt. What exactly is coming to Ponyville?
I don't know. Just something big and scary.
As if to answer her question, the ground shook from the impact. The two ponies trotted outside and gasped. Coming out of the Everfree forest was a machine. Its design was based on a typical dragon, except the wings had been replaced by exhaust pipes and armor plating. Smoke and steam welled out of its mouth, and his eyes glowed blood red. The thing let out a roar, a terrible noise of synthesizers and warred steel, before continuing on its march towards Ponyville.
Giant robot dragon,
was all Twilight could say.
See? I told you it was scary. What do we do?
Get every pony away from here! Now! Please! Piggy was off, the other pony disappearing from a cloud of dust. Twilight could only stare at the metal dragon as it approached the town, its heavy footfalls ringing throughout her entire being. She managed to shake herself out of her stupor, long enough to take off in the opposite direction Piggy had gone. I gotta get every pony out here. Do I have any spells that can work against giant mechanical dragons? I think I do. As she formulated her plan, other ponies in distress began following her. Listen up, every pony! A giant dragon is coming towards our town, and I need every pony to leave before it starts hurting ponies. Most of the ponies just stared at her, some mumbling or chuckling nervously to each other. This is serious. We're all in big danger. Piggy Pie protected it! As soon as he said that, every pony panicked and made a beeline for the western half of the town. Just as the dragon reached the eastern side of town, Scootaloo put us into a stopping gasp. The giant robot dragon had stepped on a few houses and was now eyeing the small Pegasus and her two friends. Scootaloo gulped and began to backpedal, her hoof bumping against the wagon she had hitched to her Scootaloo.
Scootaloo,
Sleepbell said, prying the Pegasus in the back.
Could you get us out of here faster?
The dragon bellowed and began to stomp towards them, its giant tail slamming into another house as it moved. Scootaloo gulped once more and took off as fast as possible, the dragon chasing after her and her friends.
Guys, the light is late!
Applebloom asked her, her voice barely able to audible over the dragon stomping.
Hang on, this might get rough!
Scootaloo turned left down an alley, just as a jet of flame scorched the earth behind her. The dragon roared again and changed direction, smashing the wall yet off another building as it moved. The village turned down yet another corner, with Scootaloo increasing their speed, and found themselves in Ponyville's town square with the dragon still on their heels. Scootaloo, on the verge of panic, veered right and headed toward the town hall in hopes that the machine chasing her would stall, after wrecking a few more buildings. However, Scootaloo was in such a panic that she failed to spot a large rock in her path. Upon striking that rock, Applebloom and Sleepbell were pitched head over heels into the dirt, stunning the three fillies and allowing the metal dragon to catch up with them. Scootaloo shook her head clear and watched as the giant machine raised one hoof to stomp on the Cutie Mark Crusaders. With no time to roll away or save her friends, the orange filly raised her right foreleg and attempted to shield her eyes from the impending doom. There was a clang of hooves against metal, and the sound of gears and pistons grinding together. Confused as to why she was not dead yet, Scootaloo opened her eyes and looked up. Standing over her, pushing against the dragon's foot with her forehooves, was a mare. She had a tan-coated green mane, and she was dressed in a red cape and blue suit, which was adorned by a stylized S. The mare showed no sign of strength as she held back the mechanical monster. As if this was something she had encountered every day of her life, the mare looked over her shoulder at the filly behind her.
Are you all right?
She asked, her voice melodic and regal, and containing yet a small bit of steel.
Yes, I am,
Scootaloo said, as she got back to her hose, while the mare turned her attention back to the dragon. Good. Now get your friends out here and go find the others. I'll deal with this thing. She twisted her tail a little, and with a snarl, pushed up against the foot. The sudden force caught the robot dragon off guard and flipped it, the machine slamming into the ground with an earth-shaking impact. Go! Now! Scootaloo nodded and raced over towards the other two Crusaders, who were still collecting themselves.
You guys okay?
Scootaloo asked. Yep, Applebloom said, placing her helmet back on her head.
What happened? We hit a rock, and then this weird pony came out of nowhere and flipped the dragon.
To raise his might, Scootaloo could not suppress her grin as she spoke.
But That thing was huge, Sleepbell said. Nobody could have flipped it.
I'm serious! Look, she's right over! As the three fillies turned, they saw the mare was now beneath the dragon, lifting the machine with her forehooves. All at once, he pitched the machine to the east before taking off after it.
See? See what she did? But that's impossible.
Scootaloo smiled again and hopped back on her scooter.
Come on, Crusaders, we gotta follow her.
What?
You want to follow the robot to draw chaos?
Evelyn asked.
Was he gonna hurt your eye or something? I just want to see what that weird pony's doing. I agree with Apple Bloom, Sleepbell said. It's really dangerous.
Well,
if you two don't want to come, then I'll go by myself.
Scootaloo kicked off and sped towards where the dragon had been thrown. The other two Crusaders looked at her.
Should we go after her?
Sleepbell asked. By her, like getting hurt. And the two began galloping after their friend before Pinky touched in front of them.
And where are you two going?
She asked.
Scootaloo just went out the dragon. We were just... What?
The big pony grabbed the two fillies and pulled them in.
You know what's going to happen to her if that being robot dragon finds her? Wait, there was this other pony that was fighting the dragon.
Sleepbell said, struggling to get because Pinky's trying to grab.
She knew it threw the dragon downtown. The Scootaloo started following her and went after him.
Pinky gripped Winky, and the two fillies dropped to the ground.
Really? Yeah, you gotta believe us,
Evelyn said. There was a pause before Pinky smiled.
I'll tell Twilight about this. She'll be so happy knowing that big mean robot dragon's taken care of. You two go fight Scootaloo, and I'll go get the others. Wait, will some pony get hurt if something goes wrong? Don't be silly. There's always crowds when big mean robots get beat up and they never get hurt.
With that, Pinky left off, leaving two very confused foals.
Let's just go find Scootaloo.
The dragon landed with a crash in the field next to the Everfree forest, kicking up a massive cloud of dust as it landed. As it struggled to get back on its feet, the mare hovered above it, forehoofs in a fighting position. Listen to me, she said. You attacked Ponyville, and for that I should destroy the machine. But I don't want to kill you, so just surrender before I'm forced to defeat you. It seemed like a reasonable offer, and flying halfway around the world had been taxing her energy a little. Dragon managed to get back on his feet before roaring again, swiping the mare with his right hand. The massive metal hand struck the mare and sent her spiraling through the air, but she managed to recover quickly and return to her original position. So, that's how you want to handle this? Fine! This won't take long then! The dragon roared once more and swung his left arm. Before the attack could connect, the mare turned and swung with her right hoof. The two attacks collided at high speed. The metal hand folded almost completely in half before the entire hand shattered, bits of metal falling to the ground. Seeing her opening, the mare shot forward and slashed it into the other robot's chest, the steel plates bending under her force. The dragon staggered back, but she allowed it no time to recover. She rushed forward and slammed her hose into the machine again and again, each strike leaving visible cracks and dent in the armor. Satisfied with damage to the torso, she rose up and brought her hard hoof down on the top of the dragon's head, knocking it back to the ground. I'll give you another chance to surrender, she said. The dragon struggled to get back on his feet, his eyes fixated on the mare and the blue cape. Another roar, a jet of fire shot from the machine's mouth and engulfed his opponent. Barely flinched as flames would be hot enough to melt iron washed over her. When the attack was finished, the mare was still flying, her suit and body no worse for wear. Impressive. Let me try mine. She flew around the side of the dragon, and after a pause, two red beams shot from her eyes and struck the robot's right leg at the hip. She dragged the beams across the leg, slicing through the metal like a pair of scissors through worn paper. When she finished, a clean cut had separated the leg from the rest of the body. With the loss of support, the metal dragon collapsed to the ground. The mare landed on the back of the dragon, quickly locating a seam near one of the exhaust pipes. A quick smack of her hose created a gap large enough for her to slip her leg through, and then proceeded to rip the entire back of the robot off. As she tossed the sheet of metal away, she spotted a large glowing cage with tubes and wires. Ah! The power source! This should end this! She jumped down into the power source and wrapped several wires around her hose before yanking up and ripping it from the machine. The robot stopped moving and shuddering, and the glow inside began to fade. The power source shook for a moment before the tube stopped glowing. The mare tossed that next to the piece of metal she had ripped off earlier. She flew up to the head of the now disabled machine, searching for a way in. A brief scan showed a small door where the left ear would have been. She landed next to the door and pried it open, readying herself for anything she might find inside. Inside the dragon's head, dazed from being knocked around, were 2 unicorns, identical save for different cutie marks and a mustache on a closer one. I knew it! I knew it! I knew it! They wore striped blue shirts and bow ties that looked like they had not been washed in some time. But what caught Mare's attention were their eyes. They were dull and unfocused, and had a slight glow to them. They looked nothing like the con artists he knew them as. Rather, they looked like a pair of drunken bums. "It appears we have been caught, dear brother of mine," the lead said. His voice sounded mechanical. "Yes, indeed, just like they said. Well, it was a good run, wouldn't you agree?" "Indeed it was." The 2 unicorns stood next to each other, facing the mirror. "I suppose now we need to enact our contingency plan." "I suppose so." With that, the 2 lifted the mare, hoping together to get overpower, or at least hassle their opponent. Before they could reach her, however, she slammed the door on their heads, knocking the 2 out. "If your plan was to try and overpower the mare, or just tore your robot to pieces," she said, reaching in and grabbing the 2 other ponies by their shirts, "I'll have to recommend you to a psychiatrist." Scootaloo had arrived near the end of the fight, when the mare had sliced the leg out the dragon. She stood there in silence, awed by the display of power the mare had shown. It was only after the mare moved towards the dragon's head she noticed her wings were buzzing with excitement. She was so focused on the scene before her she failed to hear the pop of a teleport and sound of hosts rushing toward her. "Scootaloo, what do you think you're doing?" Twilight asked as she ran to the Pegasus filly. Scootaloo's wings stopped buzzing as he turned to the older mare. "Sorry, Twilight, but look what she did!" Scootaloo pointed towards the right dragon. Twilight gasped a little, but managed to regain her composure as the mare flew towards him, crying and carrying 2 battered ponies. "Is that Flim and Flam? They're the ones who made that thing?" "I'm afraid so, ma'am," the mare said before dropping the 2 ponies to the ground. "Contact the royal guards and put these 2 into custody. Also, check them for any signs of brainwashing. While they might not have been the most moral of ponies the first time I met them, I don't think they would go on a rampage like this on their own accord." "Wait, you met them before?" "I've traveled a lot before coming here. Now, if you excuse me, I have to dispose of this dragon." The mare turned to leave before Scootaloo stepped forward. "Wait! Who are you?" The mare paused before turning around, facing Twilight and Scootaloo. "A friend." She smiled and flew back to the dragon, hoisting things up in her hose and flying off to the east. Still one of the best moments of the Superman movie. Once the mare robot dragon were out of sight, Scootaloo fainted. Not the fainting bit, the "I'm a friend" scene. One of my favorite moments. The next day, reporters from all over Equestria flooded into Ponyville, from every major newspaper, from the Manhattan Inquirer to the Seattle Times, even the local full free press, had some point scouring the Ponyville for anything that might have been used. "Look at this! The Times! It flies! Look at this! The Inquirer! Mysterious man flies over a bridge! I want something that links the Daily Planet with this man like peanut butter to jelly. And the person who brings me the first interview with this flying mare will have the greatest interview since God talked to Moses." Have I mentioned that's one of my favorite Barry Whites? Just to get that out there. They could care less about the damage to displaced ponies and even the giant robot dragon. All they cared about was the mysterious mare that appeared to save Ponyville. Inside Sugar Cube Corner, 5 mares were discussing the events. "I love Plese," Applejack said, pushing away her mug of cider. "Something don't eye it up." "Applejack, our sisters could have died the other day, and you think there's something wrong with them being saved?" Meredith said. "Nah, I'm glad they're still alive. But I mean, some mayor just shows up out of nowhere, beats up some big robot that just happens to attack town for no reason. I bet she sees the whole thing flying." "Scootaloo and your sister said she threw the dragon across town," Twilight said, sitting inside a newspaper. "No pony besides the princesses are that strong." "Exactly. I'll break it so you use some kind of freaking magic stuff to make it look like she was throwing it around like that." Applejack stamped her hoof against the floor. "Doesn't like decent, trying to like some pony look all big and powerful like that." "I did sleep in the area after I got Flim and Flam to the guards. The only magic residue I got was from the power source." Twilight slipped over. "Which I can't analyze because she took it away! Imagine what I could do if I could figure out what was powering that thing. Equestria could enter a new age of technology if magical propulsion got worked out." "Twah, you're rambling again." "Oh, sorry." "Well, I'm just happy everybody's okay," Firefly said.
Would have been awful if somebody got into hurt or died when that robot showed up.
Yeah. Applejack looked around. World Play could get out too. Some reporters asked her what happened and, well, Pinky. When was that? 6 hours ago. Oh. There was silence.
Well, I think we're all just being a little too glum about the whole situation,
Ernie said, picking another cupcake from her telekinesis.
Let's just be happy that everybody is okay. Yes, I would like that,
Fluttershy said. Applejack muttered something and pulled her mug back. Another thing. Why's he gotta be so secretive about everything?
Because she's a superhero,
Pinkie Pie said, popping out from a nearby table.
Superheroes never tell anybody all the super things they do because they don't want to be a bragging big bragger persons.
I think it's a little too early to be calling her a superhero. So I said, yes, he saved a bunch of ponies, but...
But nothing,
Pinkie said, leaning real close to Twilight.
She being a giant robot, she is a superhero.
But being a robot doesn't make a pony a superhero. There has to be more than that.
There is, but that's ruining the fun of it.
Jeez! I go away for 5 months and you guys start having arguments about superheroes. The 5 ponies turned and saw Rainbow Dash standing in the middle of a room. Saddlebags resting on the ground. I guess they really do hold you all together. The other 5 could only keep at her friend, while Rainbow Dash stood to her gaze of one confusion. What? Should I leave and come back later?
Rainbow Dash?
The other 5 said.
Yeah. Is something wrong?
She barely begun her sentence when she was barreled over by a pink blur.
Jessie! You're back! Pinkie said, hugging the Pegasus as tight as he could. We tried writing you, but every letter we just said came back unopened.
Spike wasn't too happy about that. Twilight said as Rainbow and Pinkie made her way to the table. Well, I only spent a few days in Seattle. Then I started doing odd jobs around that part of Equestria. I can tell. Applejack said, poking Rainbow aside. Looks like you've been doing some hard labor. There were a bunch of citrus farms near Lost Pegasus.
You went and lost Pegasus?
Rarity said, swooning slightly.
Oh, you must simply tell us everything you saw there.
Maybe some other time. I'm a little beat for the trip. That's another thing, Twilight said. Why didn't you tell us you were coming back? You disappear for 5 months and then show up without a warning? We could have met you down at the station. I did send you a note. What, you didn't get it? The other 5 shook their heads no. Sorry about that. Well, I'm here now, so you don't have to worry about anything else. Hey, can I get some food? I'm really hungry. Pinkie released Rainbow Dash and reappeared while playing with cupcakes and milk. Thanks. So, did I miss anything while we're going? The heroes looked at each other before looking back at Rainbow Dash. Well, you missed something yesterday, Twilight said. What? Well, there was this incident with a dragon. You didn't tell me sooner? Rainbow Dash said to play with cupcakes and grabbed Twilight. Are you guys okay? Was anybody hurt? Where's Scootaloo? Is he okay? Relax, Rainbow. No pony was seriously injured.
Because a superhero came out of the sky and saved us all!
Pinkie shouted, pushing Twilight away. What?
Yeah, she came in and threw the Bing Bing robot out of town, and then went in, ripped it open, disabled it, beat it up, and flipped it all off, and then dancing was all mysterious, and then 6 months, and then Scootaloo faded, and then Pikey!
The Air Force shouted.
What?
I think it would be better if we explained it to her a little slower.
But Twilight...
No, Pinkie. Pinkie's made to face slightly as she walked away. Twilight gave a small sigh and turned her attention to Rainbow. What she was trying to say was that this mare, who was a superhero, this mare came out of nowhere and started fighting the robot.
Like a superhero!
Twilight snapped her head around, glumly glaring at Pinkie. Pinkie, stop interrupting me!
But Dashi won't get you the whole story if you don't tell her about the superhero.
You know what? Fine. There was a superhero. She threw the dragon across town and saw it with laser eyes. She was wearing a big red cape and a blue suit with an S on it and sounded a lot like Princess Celestia. Are you happy now?
Yes, Twilight.
Pinkie said, smiling all the way. Twilight sighed and looked back at Rainbow Dash. Sorry you had to see that. I've been under a lot of stress lately. Hey, that's okay. I mean, we have all had times like that, right? The Air 5 nodded. A Rainbow pulled a cupcake from a nearby plate, beginning. So, superhero? Yes, the Air 5 said. Except, save Pinkie. And she just disappeared after destroying the robot? Yes, there was a pause. Okay. Rainbow Dash seemed to be eating. While the others looked at her in shock.
Wait, you're not jealous?
Rarity asked.
No. Should I be? Well, you are the local hero, and there was that one time when...
First, mumbled the rest of her sentence and backed away, but the others got the general idea.
Well, yeah, but that was smaller stuff. I couldn't fight a giant robot dragon if I tried. So, I guess this new mayor got us a couple of places here. Whoever she is. Ooh, she doesn't have a super cool name!
Pinky cried. The others ignored her.
Promise you won't do anything stupid.
Rainbow Dash chuckled.
Hey, if she shows up again, I'll be nice. But if she starts stealing my fans, well, you'll have a nice talk with her and get her to compromise.
Time finished.
I was going to say tell us to do some kind of competition, but I guess that works in the long run. What do you think that would be a good name for her? Pinky said. She's all super and stuff. How about Super Mayor? Is Super Mayor a good name?
Flanky, nobody cares about her name.
Sure they do. I'll prove it.
Pinky bounced over to reporters. A face call who wore a small button with letters EQD on it.
Hey, Mr. Report Guy?
Yes?
Do you think Super Mayor is a good name for a superhero?
There was a short pause before the call smiled. Good. It's awesome. I was having trouble trying to come up with this new pony. But Superman fits perfectly. Besides, it's kind of catchy.
I know.
Hey, can I talk about you want yourself for a bit?
Sure.
Pinky bounced over and reported, tailing her. Rainbow Dash chuckled again and ate another cupcake.
It's good to see Pinky being Pinky.
Conversation would have continued, but the five friends were interrupted when an older man with a great mane and glasses came over to him.
Oh, Twilight, so good to see you here, the mayor said. I need to ask you a favor. Oh? You see, some of the town council members, myself included, thought we should show our appreciation to that mayor.
Super Mayor, Twilight corrected.
What?
Pinky named her Super Mayor.
Oh, well, anyway, I was hoping you and Pinky could coordinate something to show her how thankful we are that she saved our town. Nothing too big, mind you. Just something small and heartfelt for her. Okay, I'll think of something. Wonderful, the mayor smiled. I'll go tell Tiki about my plan.
And she walked off, leaving the five mayors alone again.
Yes, we need to fight more dragons if we're going to get a party like that,
Rainbow muttered.
We don't need that kind of recognition, Twilight said. Can you imagine what our lives would be like if every pony thought we were superheroes? We'd be mobbed by ponies everywhere we went, and we couldn't really live out our lives. Shoot, imagine if I became a princess. Hey, I wouldn't mind. I think it'd be kind of cool to have a bunch of ponies following me around. That, of course you wouldn't mind, Rainbow Dash, Rarity said. But we're not all you. Because you're not in poor Fluttershy and thousands of ponies are coming to see her.
Fluttershy cringed a little and looked at the table.
Maybe you're right.
Rainbow Dash finished another cupcake and stood to leave.
I'm gonna go fight Scooter and see just how she's doing. Oh, when will you be coming by to pick up Tank?
Fluttershy asked.
When I'm visiting hanging out with Scooter.
Rainbow Dash nodded her thanks to the cakes and got to the cute corner. Oh, shoot. Dash, I watch out for Tank if I were you. Considering what happened to Gummy and Legend of Mirtwell. Not good!
Well, it's good that Rainbow Dash is back home safe,
Eddie said. Yeah. Well, ain't it kind of weird how quickly she blew off that whole Super Mario thing? What was that winking towards the camera bit? Blankey's the one who breaks the fourth wall.
I'm sure she's just tired, Twilight said. Once she settled back to the swing of things, she might have more to say.
Wally. That night, Rainbow Dash lay on her bed, her cape draped over her like a blanket. Tank was sleeping in his favorite corner, and Rainbow Dash was happy she had him back. She was inside a little pull to keep a little closer.
So, superhero. I think I'm okay with that.
She rolled over and looked out her windows.
Still had to watch out for Pinky. All that talk about superheroes, she might actually find out in Super Mayor. Wait, is there anything wrong with her finding out? Or my other friends finding out?
Rainbow Dash shot out and frowned.
Well, Pinky's Pinky, but she's good at keeping secrets. Applejack's a bad liar, but she keeps her word. First I might let something slip, but not on purpose. Twilight would probably want me in some lab, but I don't think she betrayed me. Rarity's big on the whole rep thing, so she'll probably understand.
Rainbow smiled again before another thought crept into her mind.
But what if some bad guy comes along and tries to get to me through them? No, can't risk it. She walked back down her bed and looked at the ceiling. Someday.
She pulled the key from her normal blanket a little closer, closed her eyes, and fell asleep.